Now may I request Mr. Shigeki Maeda, Executive Vice President of JETRO, to deliver the keynote speech. Mr. Maeda, please.
Namaste. Mr. Bigban Kiloska, Deputy Chairman of the Confederation of Indian Industry, CII, Southern Region, and the Vice Chairman of Toyota Kiloska Motor, His Excellency Kenji Hiramatsu, Ambassador of Japan to India, Mr. Pradeep Kumar Rawat, Joint Secretary of Indian Ministry of External Affairs, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Shigeki Maeda, Executive Vice President of JETRO. I'm greatly honored to be able to speak on a business and investment between India and Japan in front of so many distinguished guests. The political scenery of the world has drastically changed since the last year, including in the UK's decision to leave the EU and the inauguration of the Trump administration in the US. Such political change are making the outlook of global business environment increasingly unclear. With the exception of the Koizumi administration, which lasted over 5 years from 2001, Japanese politics has also been unstable, with the prime ministers changing almost every year over past 20 years. However, 4 years has passed since the current Abe administration started in December 2012. The members of the Liberal Democratic Party have a majority in Diet. Japan is therefore the country, one of the most politically stable countries in the world. India has also been undergoing significant reforms under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi since the beginning of his administration in May 2014. India has achieved the highest economic growth among the emerging countries. The foreign leaders who had the closest relationship with Japanese Prime Minister Abe is Prime Minister Modi. When Mr. Abe started his Twitter account, the first world leader to follow him was Mr. Modi. The Economist magazine has even expressed the relationship between India and Japan with the word romance. Prime Minister Modi and Abe have both paid visit to one another's country and have summit meeting every year. We have come to refer to this as a shuttle diplomacy. Thanks to their efforts, business exchange between Indian and Japanese companies have been vitalized like never before. In the middle of last month, JETRO took part in the vibrant Gujarat to introduce innovative Japanese products and service at our Japan pavilion. We were visited by the Prime Minister Modi. Furthermore, a Japanese system will be installed for the high-speed railway between Mumbai and Ahmedabad. In line with this, rail cars and engineering technologies will be exported toward the starting operation in 2023, while the personal exchange, such as dispatching engineering from India to Japan, to be accelerated. Incidentally, the Japanese high-speed railway system has a 50-year track record, 50-year track record of operation with 0 accidents, resulting in the casualties among the passengers. Thank you very much. And the average delay time of only 36 seconds, not minutes, 36 seconds. Its success is the pride of Japan. The amount of investment from Japan to India has increased year by year, and the number of Japanese companies in India is currently 1,300, namely in the manufacturing field such as the automobile industry. However, today, I am not here to talk about investment from Japan to India, but rather the other way around. I came to India to promote investment into Japan. Entry into Japanese market by Indian companies is deeply related to the cooperation between industries of India and Japan. We can see recently some Indian and Japanese companies have been working together to operate globally. I'd like to give details on this trend afterwards. First, I would like to explain the status of the investment between India and Japan. From the statistics of Japanese government, stock of foreign direct investment of FDI from Japan to India at the end of 2015 was $40.1 billion. Conversely, FDI stock from India to Japan was only around $74 million. However, we are expecting this situation to change. Capital inflow into India was surpassing capital outflow from India until 2009. But since 2010, the flows have been reversing on a global basis, except 2015. India has become an investor, but the capital has been flowing into the US, Singapore, and the UK, where many Indian people reside. The amount of investment into Japan is currently very small, but put another way, there is much room for expansion, just as His Excellency Ambassador Hiramatsu pointed out. The stock of direct investment into Japan from around the world has grown 4 times over the past 15 years, but in particular, investment from Asia has increased by 8 times compared to that of 2000. The pace of growth is more than double that of investment from Europe and US. We expect FDI into Japan from India to increase in the future as well. Many foreign business people still have old image of Japan. Today, I'd like to clear up 3 misperceptions. To begin, I imagine that everyone in attendance thinks that the Japanese economy has been stagnant. However, the Abe administration in Japan has been focusing on economic recovery as the greatest and the most immediate challenge, and has implemented an economic strategy referred to as Abenomics. As you can see on this slide, the current economic indices, including GDP, ordinary corporate income, business confidence, and employment rate, have continued to improve for 4 years since the start of the Abe administration. Improved corporate earnings have attracted, expanded investment, and increased wages. This has consequently expanded consumption and further increased corporate performance. Japan has entered into a virtuous economic cycle. The key to translating this success into the sustainable growth, it is the growth strategy. Its focus is reform of the bedrock regulations. Meanwhile, under the Modi's administration, India's economy has been growing thanks to the extensive restructuring, which has included economic reforms, improvement of the investment environment, and adoption of the GST. The attitude taken by India and Japan toward economic growth through these reforms are quite similar. Under the structural reforms of the Abe administration, the regional monopoly of electricity production and distribution, which was continued for 60 years, has been broken up, and the electricity retail market has been fully liberalized. Further, the Pharmaceutical Affairs Act has been amended, and approval procedures were substantially simplified. Japan has become a suitable place for develop medicine and medical equipment. The second point, do you believe that Japan is a high-cost country? If so, you should throw that notion away. Prime Minister Abe declared that his government would make Japan the most business-friendly country in the world. As a corporate tax rate, which is an emblem of the cost of in the Japanese market, was reduced from 37% to the 20% range, foreign companies in Japan have placed these reforms as something easily recognizable and significant incentive. This slide is comparison of the wages of the management position and office rent per month by country. As you can see, Japan is no longer a high-cost country in comparison to other Asian countries. I believe that people who have ever been to Japan on a business trip or sightseeing were filled with the impression that every cost paid, such as for hotels, restaurants, and transportation, is less expensive than or almost the same as the Western and other Asian countries. The third point, I imagine that the most of people in attendance think that Japan is exclusive or closed toward the foreign companies. As this graph said, the stock of FDI into Japan has drastically increased and surpassed 24.4 trillion yen at the end of 2015. The value is 4 times larger than the figure of 6 trillion yen in 2000. Among Japanese macroeconomic indices, no other index has increased this much. Japanese government also embarked on the ambitious goal of increasing FDI stock to 35 trillion yen by the end of 2020. To achieve this goal, the Japanese government has been holding the conference on promoting direct investment into Japan, a ministerial meeting with attendance of the Prime Minister and the Ministers of Foreign Affairs, Economy and Trade and Industry, to discuss issues and measures on the promotion of FDI into Japan. For example, the easing of visa restrictions and the Japanese green card for highly skilled foreign professionals, one of the fastest green card issuance systems in the world, is being introduced. In addition, from fiscal year 2018, it will be possible to conduct visa application procedures online. From here on out, I would like to explain exactly what kind of opportunities Indian companies will have. While investment from India to Japan has largely been in the field of IT and pharmaceutical manufacturing, we expect growth in the field of such as automobiles in the future. Regarding financing technology, referred to as a fintech, and the Internet of Things, tremendous innovation has been occurred in India, and demand for these industries exists in overseas market as well as India. Pioneering companies from East Asia have already begun establishing business sites in Japan, the largest neighboring market. Currently, there are significant opportunities for the Indian companies here as well. Successful cases have already been seen, such as Indian companies accepting large order to build IT system from Japanese insurance company and investment banks. For example, Wipro has been working with All Nippon Airways since 2006, and it received an order to develop the management system of aircraft parts and main materials in 2011. Another company, Infosys, accepted an order from the Tokyo Marine Nichido Fire Insurance to renew an authentication system as part of the total overhaul of its core system in deal worth 60 billion yen. HCL Technologies, from which a representative will be speaking today, has been expanding since the establishment of its business site in Japan in 1998. It now has more than 300 Japanese employees. the potential of the Japanese market will be talked about in detail afterwards. Another company I would like to bring up is iWave Japan, a developer of hardware and software related to Internet of Things with headquarters in India. iWave was selected by the Japanese government as a foreign company to be subsidized for the purpose of promoting research and development in the field of the Internet of Things. It is going to jointly implement an experimental study with a Japanese company in order to develop a remote control system for railway signaling facilities. Regarding the automotive field, Japanese car makers continue to invest in India. Suzuki Motors started to export cars manufactured in India to Europe and Japan. Once Indian parts suppliers expand business with Japanese car makers, they will become global suppliers. It will then become unnecessary to establish operational sites in Japan to do business with the headquarters of Japanese companies. Japan's advantages include having the highest ratio of R&D expense compared to GDP and the largest number of the researchers in the world on population basis. Collaborating with Japanese companies and adding Japanese technologies to Indian products are very important to raise international competitiveness. Japan also has a great potential as a location for research and development. Tourism is a remarkable field as well. According to the statistics released last month, foreign tourists coming to Japan hit an all-time high of 24 million people in 2016, which includes a record high 123,000 tourists from India. The tourism market is in the midst of the boom. In the line with the increase of tourists coming to Japan, foreign companies have been entering the country's tourism field one after another. One of these companies is Rate2Gain, an Indian company which provides the charge revision software system to travel and hotel industries. Finally, please let me introduce you our organization, JETRO. JETRO, or Japan External Trade Organization, is a government-related organization that works to promote mutual trade and investment between Japan and the rest of the world. We have a global network, 74 offices in 55 countries and 45 offices nationwide. JETRO has supported more than 15,000 overseas companies interested in investing in Japan for the last 14 years. Over 1,500 out of those companies have successfully made their investment in Japan. Among these companies, only 27 of them came from India, according for only 2%. There is a significant room for more Indian companies to invest into Japan. According to the breakdown of Indian companies who have invested in Japan, 10 companies are in the IT field, according to the nearly half of the total. A leading company in the IT service industry, Infosys, has made a secondary investment in Japan in the city of Nagoya under the support of JETRO. JETRO's Invest Japan Business Support Center, or IBSCs, located in 6 major cities in Japan, provide free office space for 50 working days for overseas companies preparing business bases in Japan. Additionally, JETRO provides one-stop service for free, including consultation on various procedures and provision of market information when overseas companies start operation in Japan. We established an India desk at JETRO headquarters in Tokyo last November, where Indian staff member is working full-time to provide advice regarding investment into Japan to Indian business people. Mr. Swastik, where are you? Okay, he's waiting for you in Tokyo. So, Japanese people are aware of the fact that the entire Indian Parliament observes a moment of silence every August 6 on the anniversary of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. With the exception of Japan, India is the only country in the world to do this. I believe we have a profound sense of mutual respect and empathy for each other. I believe that we will be able to forge a great business relationship as well. If you have any inquiries and requests regarding investment into Japan, please talk to JETRO first. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and namaste.